I listened to the Jeffrey Hinton podcast on Diary of a CEO yesterday, and fuck me, that was depressing. Really depressing.
Is he the father of AI?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was like, I keep my money in 3 separate bank accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that is kind of actually what's inspired my set of questions for you today.
Oh, great.
I'm not trying to depress us all. If you want to put on your optimist hat, here's what I was thinking. Ever since 2020, how old are you? 35?
No.
34?
No.
32?
No.
34?
28.
I don't mean to laugh that loud, but no, you're not. Okay, so the thought that I had yesterday after being wildly depressed listening to Jeffrey Hinton basically say that humanity's fucked in about 30 years, I was thinking that, so we're in 2025, ever since 2020, it's been very hard to future plan, but humans kind of need to, right? In business, you need to. In careers, you need to. So I was thinking, what would the 5 years from now look like in 2030? Rush will be over 20 years old.
Don't say it out loud.
That you'll be over 40.
Shh. I've only just barely dealt with the fact that I'm not 20.
I still don't deal with the fact that I'm not 17. Anyway, 5 years from now feels like it should be a reasonable time to plan for, but because of AI, 5 years from now is going to look remarkably different. So I started to think it would be interesting to try to not predict, but how would you plan for the next 5 years?
What does it mean to have a human in the loop?
Human in the loop.
Human in the loop. What in the world is a human in the loop?
Being a human in the loop.
AI in the loop. Humans in charge.
Welcome to Human in the Loop. For the purpose of a thought experiment, or especially since thinking about last week, a really, really, really good chat with Frances, and she was like, we kind of have an imperative to make sure that everybody who doesn't know what's coming knows what's coming. Mm-hmm. And we don't know what's
That's
coming.
what we're doing here, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So with that in mind, let's do a little thought experiment.
Wait, so like the most important thing to know about how I plan is like basically can be summed up by Mike Tyson, which is everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Ah.
Which is also eerily similar to Winston Churchill. I think it was Winston Churchill or Douglas MacArthur, some kind of strategic genius, basically said no plan survives the enemy.
Everyone's got a job until they get punched in the face.
Oh
by
no,
AI.
Churchill said plans are useless, planning is essential.
Yeah, what is it? Failing to plan is planning for failure?
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's probably more relevant than ever. Like trying to future gaze is, you probably want to like guess roughly where things are going to land rather than precisely.
Yeah.
The more precise your plans, the higher chance you're going to be wrong.
Yeah.
Because of the degree of uncertainty that we have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in a weird parallel, it is a weird parallel, but if you'll indulge me for a second, when you get pregnant and you're going to have your first baby, there is literally 9 months of just planning and imagining and people telling you what's going to happen and you thinking about all of the minutiae. And then ultimately what happens is you realize that you could have gotten away with at least a quarter of the planning because all of the things that you didn't think were going to happen happened and none of the things that you wanted to happen happened. Or maybe they did. The point is it's a complete unknown. But if you don't do any planning, you're not setting your brain up in a way that it can deal with a pivot. You're just a piece of flotsam floating. Do you know what I mean?
A little bit. Over preparation helps?
Over preparation helps if you're the type of personality that can cope with change.
Yeah. So I don't over prepare in most situations because I'm a very, very, very good under pressure and very good at improvising. Mm-hmm. And my improvised results are far more creative than my planned results.
Yeah.
So some situations I'm like, actually, I'm actively not going to plan because if I improvise, I'll get a better result. And in other situations, I'm like, fuck, I better plan because there's a million ways to die in the West on that one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Now is a time for fluidity, I feel.
Yeah.
Improvisation is how you make the most of opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if you don't set a goal, again, like specifically in business,
that's
you
true.
have to point your arrow at a target of sorts and then decide how you're going to get 100 people to follow you there.
Yeah, I think having goals is essential. Otherwise, you'll improvise in the wrong direction as well, right?
Yeah.
So, but fluid plans are, I would say have a decent hierarchy of clarity on the high level, and then rely on, I guess, being opportunistic and improvising.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speed. So anything you can do to speed up decision making rather than speed up what the decision or outcome would be is probably the best way to stay fluid. And that's how I would plan for the next 5 years.
Do you call choosing to wait a good decision sometimes?
In technology, absolutely. Learned that lesson like 9 million times to Sunday. It's just like, you have a good idea, just wait. Just wait for the competition to arrive. They'll make all the mistakes, educate the market, and then just back yourself to out execute them.
Yeah.
Which is basically what Microsoft has done ever since its existence, what Meta has done. It's what Meta's doing. It is actually a very viable business strategy now, especially because, there's no business can actually remain in global stealth for like more than like 20 minutes from now.
So today, I'd like you to think about stepping into different shoes and strategic planning from different career or life stages. And I'm going to start with a university student, like someone maybe in their second year of, like, pick a degree. You can call it software engineering or you could call it anything else because I know it's a bit different. But if you were a person who still had a couple of years left to complete their degree, you're absorbing tens of thousands of dollars of debt. You're probably don't have savings for a house because your degree is expensive and rent is expensive. And you're starting to get the sense that the job market in 2 years when you graduate is not going to be what it is right now, and now it's already hard. What would you do? What's your graduate advice?
I would say the degree is not the reason you get the job.
Yeah.
Like, it's helpful for building your network, structuring your thinking. But I would rarely, unless you're joining like a massive firm that has like a very structured graduate program, there's so many jobs out there that just, people probably just, for me, all I want to see is that you've finished something you started and you finished it well.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much it.
But you're not hiring an arts graduate into a software engineering role. So there are differences.
No, but
right?
I've hired a bank teller into a software engineering role. I've hired people that can't code into software engineering roles. Like, I've hired accountants, lawyers. Yeah. Like, coding's overrated. And AI models are proving that coding's overrated. So there's nothing special in that regard. Coding's a type of contract. There's like a lot of, you just have to have the right personality type. How some people can just like understand machines and like they're really good at fixing their cars and stuff like that. They might not be coders, but they could probably be reasonably good coders.
Yeah.
And some of them wouldn't be. There's just something about it. Like, people gravitate towards stuff, right? And if you're a particularly creative mind, then, I'm some kind of ADHD creative, but I'm a very good coder. So I don't know. You can't really pigeonhole people in that. Well, I think society has to, because it needs systems and processes. But if you're operating a business on a small scale, you don't need to really follow those broad rules. They're just kind of guidelines at that scale. But if you're trying to hire 1,000 people, then you probably need some kind of filter that's like, okay, we're only going to hire comp sci degrees with an A+, right? Because
so if you go back to the degree thing, if you're someone in a degree right now, to what level would you say that someone should or shouldn't include AI in their processes as an undergrad? Would you be using ChatGPT to help you write essays? For example?
I would be using it, but not exclusively. I would be using it more as a tool because there's a lot of benefit in the journey. Yeah. But it can't be denied that when you get it, it's like any, when you go through any kind of learning, the stuff you learn is not actually really applied in the workplace. It's more the fact that you know how to go get that information and deal with it, right? Or have some idea roughly of where that information exists so that you can come up with an idea and execute it.
Yeah.
So, the stuff you study at university, it's probably more to do about, it's probably the most valuable thing you'll get out of university is learning how to start and finish something and like see it through to a requirement. It doesn't matter what degree you do. If you use ChatGPT or something like that, you lose the ability to build that muscle.
Yeah.
And that's actually the muscle that allow you to survive no matter what the future is, because it's effectively improvisation, right?
Yeah.
Ideas are cheap. Everyone has great ideas. Everyone came up with Uber at some point before Uber, right?
Yeah.
But only Kalanick pulled it off, really.
Yeah.
And Lyft and whatever. But like only a handful of people actually went on to get it done. And it's a relatively simple idea, right?
Yeah.
It's like, share a cab on a phone with a GPS. Makes sense. Take your credit card payment. And it's a gigantic company.
Yeah.
So, you're sitting at a barbecue and everyone's like, I had that idea. Like, yeah, but you did nothing about it. Or you tried and you failed.
Yeah.
Right? It's the execution in everything that matters.
Yeah, you're right. I remember very specifically a friend from art school said, I wish there was a way, like smartphones were super new. I wish there was a way to look at a map and know whether or not your friends are in the area so that you could catch up with them or whatever. I remember thinking that's insane. That was, about 20 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's exactly it. So I think if I was at university right now, I would be learning how to project manage.
Yeah.
But
also you would say, like, don't shy away from AI because there's going to be a type of expectation that you know how to use it when you get into the workforce.
It's going to be there. And you're going to be competing against people who don't give a fuck as well. So,
yeah,
like, all your promotions and anything. If all of that societal structure sticks around,
yeah,
you're going to be up against people who didn't do that and they're heavily reliant on the GPT. And that's where you'll shine through probably because you're not reliant on it. It's like when you get an injury and you have to get a little bit of support, like a support strap to help. You don't want to wear it the whole time because then the muscles around that injury don't actually develop. You just want to wear it to get like basic stability back, and then you want to take it off and get that leg moving again. I think it's the same thing. If you get too used to ChatGPT and you find yourself in a scenario where it's not available, your opportunity to outperform everybody else is diminished.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are only like 5 or 6 times in your career where you get I'll do that, and no one else will say yes, and you do it, and then the game's changed for you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you were advising a 7th former, a year 13 student who's leaving school at the end of this year, and they were like, what should I do? Or not what should I do? I have 3 options in front of me for the next 5 years. We're talking about a 5-year horizon. So I can go traveling because maybe I've got some savings. I can start an apprenticeship in a trade, or I got into an engineering school.
Go traveling.
Yeah? Why?
Then do either the engineering school, probably the trade. Go traveling and look for ideas.
Yeah.
Like the world's a big place. The biggest thing, the biggest self-limiting thing is for people to not understand that their insignificance, and traveling really reminds you in a nice way, really polite way, that you're kind of irrelevant and tiny.
Yeah.
And that the world is a big place and there's a lot of commerce to be done and there's a lot of ideas and there's a lot of different thinking that can be brought to the table, and big ideas work.
Or, okay. Shrink the recommendation to this time. Like literally this time with what's going on in the news right now.
Stay out of America.
18-year-old going traveling for a year. Where do they spend the next year going?
China. Where's most of the growth going to come from? South Korea, China, Japan. The stuff the Koreans built.
Yeah.
Freaking amazing. Yeah, and then nature. I think nature there's areas in North India like Meghalaya, which is like the wettest place on earth, but apparently it's like very lush. And then there's a lot of world to see, and you probably want to see all the animals before you kill them. So,
I mean, that's grim but fair.
Yeah. And look, to be fair, America's a fantastic place to travel, especially for nature, like Yosemite and the Rockies and Utah and the Grand Canyon. Jesus, what the fuck? Like, yeah.
Do you know what I think is probably really important? And maybe people who are raised in New Zealand probably take for granted some of the conditions that other people are raised in. I mean, having lived in Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, you don't have that, take it for granted. But I remember distinctly going to Mexico when I was probably about 9 or 10, and the scale of widespread poverty stuck with me so fiercely from that day. Like, the memory is so specific of being tried to be sold goods by a girl my age out of a rubbish bin. And what the traveling does is, I think, when you say it reminds you of how insignificant you are, but it also makes sure you know what opportunities are available to you and how not to take stuff for granted, and how much you actually, if you are the type of person who believes in service, how much of service you have to be to other people in the world.
Yeah. It's very true. Like, seeing how people live around the world, good and bad, just reminds you that, there's no one way to do things. And then also you've been handed a bunch of opportunity. Yeah. So, I see opportunity, I guess in my perspective, a bit wasted sometimes, where people don't realize that it's like, hey, you could do whatever your dream is. Yeah. But instead you're just like, I don't know, kind of wasting your time. Yeah. In a way. Yeah. But if you want to waste your time, waste your time. But, you're going to have to pick up a gun and fight the robots. So stay fit at least.
Okay. So as long as the means are available, we're sending 18-year-olds overseas to maybe like work in a third world country and get a little life perspective.
Yeah. I think just a little reminder that not everything is about, Instagram reels. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people still suffering out there that, only just got the internet.
Yep. Yeah.
And we've had it for 30 years.
It was interesting when we were in Chicago, and I was speaking to some people who are from America and talking about the opportunity that the digital era brings. And she's like, half of the towns in the middle of America don't even have reliable Wi-Fi. Doesn't matter how many Chromebooks you give to students or how much information is accessible. The digital divide and the lack of knowledge is so vast, you're kind of starting to run entirely separate species of human. The knowledge, those who have access to all of the knowledge of the world almost, and those who just don't.
There's this weird curve where basically if you have no opportunities, you're hungry for them. And then if you have all the opportunities, you're kind of not that hungry.
But if you don't even know what the opportunities are.
Yeah. I mean, we come back to education.
Yeah.
Yeah. So uniform education, computers aren't necessarily, they're not absolutely essential to get that base level of, there's a bigger world, like there's a basic corpus of information that can be downloaded in about a year to any human. Yeah. As long as they understand and believe it, that would set them up.
But we're at a point now where AI knows so much more that even as a regular person with all of the internet access, you can.
But now we're saturated. We don't even believe the stuff that's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you take a person and you're like, here's 25 volumes of Encyclopedia Britannica.
Danu's curve of squandering. It's a repeated curve in human behavior.
Yeah.
Basically, the less we have, the more hungry we are for other things. And the more we have, the more we squander them.
I think it parallels Alaina's curve of depression and motivation, which is like, the easier things are,
should I say it?
The sadder you get.
That escalated.
The worse it goes. I'm a really
there it is. What's
person.
The time mark? 9:23.
But isn't it true that like humans need a degree of
drama?
I won't say suffering, but
I was raised
conflict,
Buddhist.
Challenge.
Yeah, I was raised Buddhist. The entire ethos is suffering.
Are you still Buddhist?
Understanding. I wouldn't say practicing, but yeah.
Buddhist
values. I prescribe to the doctrine. You wouldn't see me in a temple though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you believe in reincarnation?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It lines up to physics perfectly.
So where do you think you are in your karmic wheel?
I must have been Mother Teresa in a past life. Seriously.
In the sense that you really love your life?
Yeah. Luckiest person on earth.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's really nice.
100%. Like, yeah, just seeing what other people have to go through and the stuff that they have to deal with, and the fact that I've been blessed with the ability to just cruise and still like get stuff done. Mm-hmm. Greatest gift ever.
Yeah. So where do you think somebody like Sam Altman is in his karmic wheel? Is he a good
think-
person?
I don't get that vibe.
No.
I just don't.
No.
You know, who starts a charity and then realizes that they could have made money from it and then converts it to a for-profit thing?
Yeah.
It's just gross.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
bit gross.
you know, like he obviously didn't believe in the mission.
No.
He saw the dollar signs, you know, the billions mattered. But like, he didn't even have to do it there. He could have just been like, hey, I love the mission. OpenAI is great. The people are great. Keep going. By the way, me and Ilya are starting a new thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, instead, he chose to like piss off Elon and, you know, I mean, that's not a thing.
Ilya's
but like,
the one who left, right?
yeah, he ended up leaving. I think that was pure speculation as part of the coup or whatever
Yeah.
when they tried to push out Altman.
Well, he was a student of
Elon.
Hinton. And he was talking about it on the podcast. And he said,
But he
yeah.
did all of Tesla's autonomous driving for like nearly 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
So he joined Tesla and then did all of FSD. And then when Elon was involved in OpenAI, I think he moved over to OpenAI and stuff. Yeah. But it's just really wild. Like, why are they doing all this? You know? Like,
Power?
he did all of that. Yeah.
Money?
But like, he did all of that so that he could, you know, like add some shit to Microsoft Word.
Do you think that some people just eventually get a complex that like it's like chasing the glory of being like the next, not even a Nobel Peace Prize winner, but like the father of something, the discoverer of something, like the atom splitter. Like I want my face
It has
on
to
a
be
dollar bill. One
It has
day.
to be the money because he could have done that a million other ways with some integrity.
Yeah.
I think the thing I don't like about him is he just doesn't seem to have a lot of integrity from the outside.
Yeah.
Right? Like the fact that he got pushed out and then Microsoft had to come in as the parent and be like, oh, we're going to be an board observer. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of, and then the whole safety thing with OpenAI is a bit vague,
Yeah.
you know, scraping the internet, all of that stuff. There's just a lot about AI that's kind of like, ooh.
Okay. Next, an early employee at a tech company. If you're employee number 8 at a tech startup, how would you plan out your next 3 to 5 years?
I would take all of my salary as options. I would register
Are you still going to live?
I would take all of my salary as options. And
And live off the noodles in the communal pantry.
and I would wait, employee number 8, that's so specific. What am I doing?
Okay, let's get more specific. You are in a small team. This is your first or second job as a software engineer. You are at a SaaS company in New Zealand.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
Carry on.
And the problem space you're working in is a subscription-based product that does workflow optimization of some sort.
Get in, get out as fast as possible.
Yeah, you think those jobs are being done by agents within 6 months?
It's just so hard to know, and there's so much hype floating around.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably some tax benefits to all of this crazy investment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would be doing my due diligence, but then sort of, yeah, the thing about options in New Zealand is they're very, very heavily taxed, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but they're taxed on something that isn't actual dollars income. So striking options becomes a little complicated, where you owe real money on kind of like paper goods.
But we still don't have capital gains tax.
Yeah, no, it's actually technically a cap. Oh, wow. It's a type of capital gains tax. Yeah. But only for employees.
Oh, okay. So
That's a
get
bit
out
shit.
and
No.
blink twice if you want me to resign.
No. So in New Zealand, what would I do? I would, like, for AI anything to work, right? You either have to be building a foundational model that only a handful of competitors can build, right? Which is probably not anybody. Although New Zealand has the ability to do it. Like, we could build a foundational model if we wanted to, because we have clean power. So not a lot of countries have like cheap, clean power. I mean, we don't have cheap, but we have clean power. So if you're not building a foundation model,
Yeah.
then you must have access to private data that no one else has access to. If you have access to private data that no one else has access to, then you can train on top of a foundation model, but you need to make sure that the foundation model has zero retention and they mean it. So not OpenAI.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they mean it or not, but they had that court order that was basically like you have to store it even if you...
Right.
Yeah, but I think zero retention agreements. But you're relying on a contract. So I wouldn't necessarily just rely on a contract. Like I know a lot of companies have integrity and stuff, but look at 23andMe. You know, all of that data went in and then they went defunct and they're getting bought. And now it's very clear that the company that's buying them is buying them for their data.
Right.
So you never know what's going to happen in 10 years, right? Like
Yeah.
Google could just crush OpenAI and then, you know, suddenly all of that data becomes Google's. But it could also be some random actor like, I don't know, Meta,
Yeah.
you know? So
Can I ask you a sideways question?
did that answer the question? That was like
Maybe.
only join startups that are doing those things.
Yeah.
And then if I was employee number 8, I would take all my salaries options.
And push to be bought.
Yeah, just get in, get out. Align yourself to an exit. Yeah. Because they're just buying stuff. Like Windsurf was $3 billion for a copy paste of VS Code.
Yeah. Do you think that the SaaS market's going to crumble as AI does more?
I don't know. Like our unit economics on the dollar don't make any sense anymore. So
Well, if you just think of, and you know, without naming any of them in particular, there are a few SaaS platforms that we used to use or currently use that are planning on not using anymore because we can simply build something ourselves which can do the job pretty easily. So yeah, why would someone spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year on a subscription for something that...
I don't know. Why do we pay $5 for coffee every morning?
I think you're fulfilling a different need there.
I think it's the same. It's a discrete product. It's easier to buy, less cognitive load. The one anchor is humans aren't really going to change.
Yeah.
So, you know, all of this technology is going to accelerate around us. And then at the end of the day, we're still going to get hungry. We're still going to need to poop. And we're still going to need to feel loved.
Yeah.
Probably. Some of us. Most of us. At least 2 of those things.
Yeah. Okay, but put capitalism on top of that. As an individual human being, you are trying to constantly do more and spend less or get more value for less expenditure. I mean, a coffee is a choice where you go, I'm trading, like, it's a desire. It's a want, not a need, you know, and you could argue, well, caffeine's a need for a lot of people. Yeah, you don't have to spend $5 on a bought coffee. You could spend $5 on instant coffee and coffee yourself for the week. That's a choice based on like that kind of desire. Workflow SaaS planning is not a desire. That's a operational efficiency. And you know, if you were to...
How many times have you come across a product that you're like, man, that's cool. I didn't know that existed. I want one.
Every day.
So,
Do you know how many Instagram products I have saved?
The chief innovation officer of Cisco coined this term, open innovation. I don't necessarily like the way that they approached it, but I thought the thesis was really good, which is basically that no one person or company or organization or country has monopolies on good ideas. I've always believed this. It's great.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally true. The problem with agents and AI, and we can build any SaaS product to do anything, is an individual or a group of individuals doesn't have a monopoly on a good idea. So I think people take for granted, and a lot of the hype is based off a lot of people believing that this is a true outcome. But I go back to my earlier statement about execution. If you have a SaaS product that you built using Lovable, then sure, you will get to a certain feature parity relatively quickly.
Yeah.
But then if you're not walking through the door every single day and thinking about how you can make that one problem space better, you'll fall behind very quickly.
Yeah, okay.
And those tools are available to SaaS companies as well.
Yeah, true.
So if I put 2 drivers in 2 fast cars, all right?
Yeah.
The better driver is going to win if the cars are identical.
Yep.
So if I put one person who's the worst driver in a fast car, and I take the good driver and I put them in a shittier car. I could understand that reasoning, but I don't agree with it, because if you've got access to Lovable, so do the SaaS companies. So they're just going to be orders of magnitude ahead in thinking. And there are so many ideas out there. If I had a business problem, I'd probably articulate the requirements wrong. Like, our entire business is built on getting the requirements right on behalf of customers who are very capable in their domain space, and yet they still seek our help and success by simply us facilitating getting the requirements right.
Yeah.
Not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
And not everyone is able to do that, and not everyone wants to do that. In the same way that I don't want to make coffee. So I think it'll just come back to that human behavior again. It's like, well, yeah, I could make my own SaaS product, but like, this guy's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
And it's built on Lovable as well. So it's probably, now to crack into my second coffee.
Yeah, I've already cracked
Cheers.
into my second, and thank you. It's cool enough. I don't remember what I listened to recently. Again, it was either a podcast or it may very well have been you. No, I'm pretty sure it was a podcast. It was around...
It's a sad day when you confuse the two. Or a
There's
compliment.
A whole lot of
I'll take it. I'll
information
take
in
it.
there,
I'll take it
and
as a
sometimes
compliment.
the source is missing, but that random people who have good ideas, and we see this a lot at Rush, they come and they're like, I want to tell you about this idea I had, but you need to sign an NDA first. And it was like, nobody has the time you think they have to steal your idea and build it.
It's usually a
Nobody
massive...
cares that much.
Yeah. For me, it's usually, unless there's a clear pre-existing conflict of interest. So like you come to us to talk about a computer vision idea, right? Like, I can understand you asking me to sign an NDA. I know a fuckload about computer vision, and I have the means to execute it, So it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But like, it's usually a gigantic flag when someone's like, I have this best idea. It's going to be $1 billion, but I need you to sign an NDA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
And it's usually an idea someone had
like,
on a weekend around the barbecue with the family, and they're like, guys, I've got it.
Look, I've heard brilliant ideas. There was this one that was like, imagine if you were to hail a taxi on an app. And I was like, man, that's going to make somebody a fuckload of money. But right now, I'm very interested in the steak and my beer.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to move on.
Because yes, it was at a barbecue. But I like, honestly, I get
absolute
I get
trend.
1,000 ideas pitched at me weekly.
Yeah.
And I have probably like 10 ideas that are, at least one of them's viable.
Yeah.
But
No one has the time.
I like watching Mobland.
Oh,
Oh man, that's so good.
okay. If you're a hiring manager, which sometimes you are. Let me read it properly. If you're in a hiring position at a tech company,
If
I'll put it hypothetically.
By the way, if
because-
there's any senior Java developers out there using Spring, Assergy, and Terraform on Kubernetes, give me a call.
Seriously.
Yeah.
What does talent acquisition look like over the next 3 to 5 years? Because we're hearing a lot of news about you need to be able to use AI first. You have to prove that AI can't do your job. I haven't heard that from within our company. But do you think that growing people is not necessarily the imperative that it used to be for scaling?
It depends on where you are on your hiring journey. So if you've got an established culture, I kind of, as a business person, I kind of understand the like try AI first, right?
Yeah.
But if you're scaling a business, I think it's really important, and this is just how I like to do business. So it might not be how you like to do business. I like to keep things simple. Complexity causes problems. And I like to like the people I work with because I spend a fuckload of time with them. Hey, Alaina.
Yeah, I already see you now 2 extra hours.
Yeah. Like, life's too short
Yeah.
to hang around and work with people that you're just like, ugh. Like
Yeah.
whoever your people are, you want them to be that at work as well.
Yeah.
So I would worry less about the AI And I would worry more about like who you want to fight the AI with,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean, or take on the AI.
Okay, well then taking that a step further, do you think that it's important for a business to ensure that everyone is brought along an AI journey, like that it's respectful of the culture, so that you haven't got half an organization fearing that their jobs are disappearing and the other half going, this is so cool, look at all the stuff I can automate? Because I sense that most of Russia's pretty aligned on being cautiously excited about the potential and embedding it in our daily workflows with the restraint that it requires along cybersecurity.
Yeah.
But then you think of a really large enterprise business that probably has a bunch of frontline workers, a bunch of call center workers, and a bunch of head office type management. AI is going to affect their jobs in really different ways.
Yeah. I typically put people in a workforce into sort of two categories, like completely self-propelled and internally motivated, and people that, and this isn't a put down or anything, it's just like people that work isn't their most important thing.
Yep.
Right? Like they've got a life and they do their job, they turn up, they get it done, and they go home and, have like a whole other life.
You mean there are people that don't think about their job every minute of the day?
Yeah, I don't. It's
Who
very
are they?
strange
I
to
don't
me.
know who they are.
Yeah. No, but like, I massively respect both.
Yeah.
Right. Like, the world wouldn't work if we were all
Yeah.
A types, and the world wouldn't work if we were all,
Yeah.
not willing to try stuff. I don't word that right, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so I think the part of your organization that is the change agent needs to be heavily facilitated. And then the part of your organization that isn't the change agent kind of needs the plan handed to them,
Yeah.
because they'll buy into the plan.
Yeah.
Like, good employees come in all different shapes and sizes, and good founders also come in all different shapes and sizes. And you don't need all of your personality traits in one employee. You just need the group of them to work together. And it's actually bad if they're all the same,
Yeah.
right? Because you don't get challenge in thinking, you don't get stability, you miss out on a lot, actually. So I think you just need to be realistic about what proportion, because every organization has them, that's, otherwise promotions wouldn't really be a thing.
Yeah.
And I just sort of look at it as agents and AI are just an additional layer in your organization.
But some people aren't treating it that way. Some people are completely cutting call center roles or, low tier work and replacing them with AI. So what does that look like in 5 years from now if you've decided to gut that sector of your organization?
Yeah. I mean, look, those organizations will reap what they sow, and it could be good, it could be bad. Truth is, no one really knows, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good example where this became, a bit of lore. But there's quite a few stories in the Valley and in business where people part ways and then it actually works out even better for both, right? Like, you get two industrial rivals forming.
Yep.
This happened during the Industrial Revolution quite a bit, where you had business owners that sort of formed around an idea and then they disagreed and they sort of changed directions, or people who were made redundant go off and do something else, right? I think was it Atlassian or one of those founders, they sort of they got made redundant, there's lots of stories of people being told they're not good enough to work somewhere, right? And then they go off and build a competitor or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, you can't really see that. There's a funny story about Ben Affleck, adjacent sidebar. Funny story about Ben Affleck. I think when Kevin Smith was filming Dogma. Is he in Dogma? He's in Dogma, right? Like one of those films. And Ben Affleck kept telling Kevin Smith like he should do this in directing, and like kept giving him directions. And Kevin Smith was like, "Fuck off, do your own movie." And so he finished Dogma, and then he decided to write and direct his own movie, which was Good Will Hunting, and he won like 3 Oscars or something. Yeah.
Well, I guess some people, there's just that inherent innate talent. They just kind of need that ignition lit.
Yeah. Look, I mean, these big companies that are making these cuts, I feel for them. They've never been under threat more than they have now. Like the
You
chance.
feel for the companies or the people?
No, because I mean, I think the people will be okay because as long as they, do something about it. Like,
You don't think that there's mass joblessness on the horizon? That could be a huge societal
not
kick in the guts?
Nah,
You really don't?
not in the immediate. Like, we're seeing headlines about Amazon and but they're tech pros being cut, like, mostly, and then the middle management layer. They're going to find other jobs.
So that's though where the 5-year horizon.
Yeah.
So at the first fall, it's tech companies, and then it becomes the enterprises that, like the service industries, and then it becomes, I don't know.
Well, honestly, it's the humanoid robots that are the problem.
Yeah.
Like, if I was worried about AI, I would like, just software is probably in isolation. It's kind of isolated. It's trapped in a box. That's when it becomes attached to a robot that can really replicate human effort. But we don't know how the unit economics is going to play out. Stuff might end up still. The cheapest car you can get is still about $30,000 or $40,000, right? And it took 100 years to get to that price point. So even if it takes another 50 years for a humanoid robot, because there's supply and demand, as well. So there's just so much shit to play out. And also governments could just be like, nah, no humanoid robots. We don't know that. Like, we don't know what's going to happen.
But straight up, do you think governments are doing enough to legislate or regulate AI now?
No, because governments just don't really work like that, right? So they're always going to be behind the curve. The contradictory position that we find ourselves in is the countries with the largest modernization opportunity are also the countries with the largest workforces.
Yeah.
So they have the most people to care for.
Yeah.
So if China replaces all of its 1 million workers at Foxconn with 1 million humanoid robots, those people aren't going quietly.
Yeah.
So that's not a situation that the government can entertain.
Yeah.
And it's the same in America. America's a large population. They got 350 million people, and probably about 100 million in the labor workforce, and probably 20 or 30 million undocumented migrants as well.
You want to take all the jobless people and give them idle hands?
Yeah. And then Mexico, it's like another 300 million people. These are all manufacturing hubs.
Yeah.
So you stick in a robot and you got 300 unsatisfied citizens. Man, they ain't going to take shit.
Yeah.
Lying down. And what's the golden rule in Sun Tzu? One of the golden rules in Sun Tzu, always leave your enemy with an exit. And how that applies here is, and basically what it is like, you never want to take on anybody who's got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And if robots and AI push most of society to a point where it's like, well, yeah, I'm going to go set the factory on fire.
Yeah.
Because they took my job.
Kid who took out the health CEO, right?
Yeah, that guy was a little crazy, but
yeah,
I'm
but
just
there's
saying,
a lot of crazy people with guns in America.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think the mass hysteria, you saw this play out in a particular way in Sri Lanka. There was non-violent protests to get rid of a government that was clearly very corrupt, and people had just gotten to the end of their tether. They had nearly bankrupt the country, and people just didn't care about what the reason was.
Yeah.
And if there was corruption, which there probably was, it didn't matter to anybody.
Yeah.
And if there wasn't corruption, it didn't matter either, because they were either competent or corrupt. Either way, they didn't want them there. And it couldn't get worse. And people were really suffering. And they rallied together. There was no violence. And they pushed this person out. And I think that will probably be the bulk, because we're not going to see extremist groups of protesters. We're going to see mass groups of protesters.
Yeah.
If you and I are out of a job, I'm joining a protest. I'm not going to punch anybody. I'm not going to do anything, but I am going to make my voice heard. And there's the majority middle that we all rely on to hold society together. The people that open the door for you in the mornings, the people that help you out with your shopping, the people that ask you if you're okay if you're walking past the street. There's more of those than assholes.
Yeah.
It's just a bona fide hard fact.
Yeah.
And if all of those people decide to tell their governments, no robots, kind of got to listen.
Yeah.
Unless the robots take over and then that whole plan's fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's assume that won't happen.
Nobody vote for AI. If you ever see an AI politician, just don't vote for them, okay? It's the start of the end.
Elon Musk.
Oh, God.
And his new party.
Oh, yeah, he is a robot, isn't he?
Yeah, basically. Board and governance.
Oh, boy.
What does the next 5 years look like for New Zealand businesses? And
So
how
if
would
you're
you
a-
steer
yeah,
the ship
so
if
if
you're
you're
a
a-
captain?
board member, are we looking at the composition of your board because the advice from market that you operate in is going to be really important?
Yeah.
Because you know, people in the market tend to see things 1 or 2 years earlier than everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess figure out where you want to play is probably the biggest thing. I am a big believer in the best form of offense is a strong defense, and so Rush has always operated in that capacity and done quite well out of it. And I think what you want to be doing is thinking of a defensive plan that allows you to kick the ball in the back of the net once the opportunity arises. There's an old business saying that luck is where opportunity and preparation meet.
Yeah.
So I think as a board member, how do you create a funnel for opportunities? So how do you direct your management team to kind of go, well, yes, you're worried about today, but tomorrow might not come in the same shape. So how do we enable that? Like, what resources do you need to enable that? Do you need to create new roles or functions inside the business and sort of give them a mandate to kind of not think about the next 12 months, but think about the next 3 years? And what does that investment look like? And it's the same as sort of marketing. Marketing should be about 1/5 of your revenue, really, for most businesses. Like,
Should it?
Should it?
Should it?
Did I say that out loud? What's your budget? No, but like marketing investment, you know, is a percentage of revenue. You need to see this kind of innovation as a bit of an insurance policy. So you pay your professional indemnity insurance, your D&O and all of that stuff. And it's just a cost that you wear, right? Because in case something happens, you got a backstop. It's not your first port of call, but it is your backstop, right? So investment in innovation, investment in some AI thinking will go a long way, and it should be an insurance policy effectively as it is right now. And then there's an element of wait and see.
Yeah.
And you need to talk to your competition. I know people don't. I mean, you need to crush them immediately after you talk to them, but like you need to talk to them because we're all having the same problems, right?
Yeah.
And they're all trying to navigate the market. And there are some competitors that in every industry that you respect, and there are some competitors that you just want to destroy. And probably chat to the ones you respect, right?
Yeah.
Because I think there's never been an opportunity like this before to capture competitors' market share because you don't need the same ratio of resourcing to do the same amount of work or produce the same outcomes. So I think that's where your growth sits, is sort of taking market share. And there's 2 ways to do that. One is to literally take market share, so outcompete your competitors. That's probably the go fast strategy, which I think Rush has sort of done. We invested heavily early, and then we just tell everyone that we're doing it, and we show, you know, our vision, and we show our generative AI chops in customers' scenarios. And the reason for that is right now the economy's diminished, and the competitors, you know, our competitors don't have as much capital investors as we do, so we can spend to get in. And then the go slow strategy, but is very lucrative, especially right now, is called greenfields, which is to create a totally new market opportunity. So the way that plays out is like AI consulting that didn't exist 4 or 5 years ago. It's a totally new field. So that's a totally new market opportunity that will probably last 20 odd years, right? So you could go out and capture that. That's a sort of a low hanging fruit. But I'm sure there are tons of problem spaces. Like, you know, Heath was on how do I shoot a product catalog of 200 handles with 200 different backgrounds. That's a totally new market opportunity because it wasn't really feasible before, but now you can. So what are the opportunities that are going to emerge out of AI enabling those opportunities rather than replacing existing work? Our human mind always goes to replacing what we do already, but there will be plenty of things done. Like if I was to take a car from today and go back 200 years and show them a car, the concept would be vaguely related to my chariot.
Yeah.
But it would be so vastly different that, you know, it would be unfathomable to most people that that was an entire thing.
Take the horse. But turn it into an engine.
Yeah, but like aeroplanes,
Yeah.
right? Air travel. Before the aeroplane, not a thing.
I mean, it looks like a bird.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. Everything mimics nature.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, we should be going to nature to find the next thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Last 2 minutes for the person who.
Has it all.
Well, kind of. For the person who
Stop it.
doesn't consider work outside of their work day or maybe a retiree or maybe a homemaker or someone whose work is not their life and so might think that AI doesn't apply to them in any way. How would you take that person and say, no, here are the top five ways that you could use AI in your daily life to immediately see value? Like, for example, I use it for travel planning, food planning, budgeting, da, da, da.
I think you answered your own question.
No, but I'm asking you.
Advice. Like, it's like probably the only, like, I would say it's the biggest game changer.
Yeah.
You know, like advice. Good advice is hard to get.
Yeah.
Costs a lot of money.
But if you're someone who doesn't even use AI now,
Yeah.
you might not know that that's a thing that large language models can provide.
Yeah, that's on you. It's on the news all the time. If you don't know about AI right now, oh man, you cannot complain when they take your job. Like, you gotta do something, man. Like,
Yeah.
so you gotta do something. Like,
Yeah.
play with it. It's fucking free.
Yeah.
Like, it's $20 even. Like, you know, like, but free.
Yeah.
You know, go if you don't have internet, I understand. Go to the library. There's internet at the library.
Yeah.
Go to the library, sit down with ChatGPT, and you know, play with it for an hour and ask it all kinds of questions
Yeah.
about stuff that you know you don't understand. The stuff that scares you the most, and that your natural tendency is to just ignore and hide from.
Yeah.
Go use ChatGPT and ask it all the questions because it's not going to judge you and it's going to give you all the answers, and it's going to curb that instinct to avoid. So, yeah. Is that too
Yeah.
aggressive? A little aggressive, but you know what?
I mean, you didn't.
It's for your best
you didn't-
interest. It's
you
in your
didn't
best
swear,
interest.
So
A little bit. One. I got one. It's in your best interest.
Yeah.
To stop Altman taking everything.
Okay. Have you finished your 2 coffees?
I have.
Okay. Well, that's us.
No, I understand. When you've pissed off your partner, you don't just go back and say sorry. You say sorry and you maybe give
No,
her
you don't. You go to
flowers and stuff.
ChatGPT and say, I just pissed off my partner in this very specific way. How do I say sorry?
That's a great life hack, actually.
Do you know, I saw a thing on Instagram recently of someone just going out into the street, and the main way that average, quote unquote, people use ChatGPT is for relationship advice.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Fantastic.
Thanks for the chat.
Cheap psychotherapy as well.
Yeah. Just don't let it convince you to do bad things.
Oh, yeah. That's a thing.
Tread
It's
with
already
caution.
happened.
Common sense.
Yeah.
That's a guiding rule here.
Common sense. Surprisingly not common. It's like an ironic
Thank
name.
you.
Like a big guy named Tiny.
Oh my God, we're done. We're done. You can cut him. Cut him off. Cut him
I
off.
think I can be cancelled, actually. I just have to say something sexist next.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I won't.
Do you know what my exit strategy is? A vault of all the worst things you've ever said.
Oh, fuck. I'm vulnerable.